Hello, hello, hello. What's happening, people? Hope you are well. Welcome to the podcast. Listen, we had a very, very interesting conversation a couple of weeks ago regarding Clubhouse and networking. We had Dale, we had my sister Akosua on, and the response to the video was absolutely great. So what I've decided to do is get them back on for an update on Clubhouse, because I've heard different contradiction things. So some people have, really, really enjoyed it, got a lot of benefit from it. But also there's been quite a bit of negativity as well. So I wanted to discuss that with them too, and also discuss how they've been getting on with it and any possible good news or good insight they can possibly bring us also. So without further ado, let me bring in the two.
Hey.
Guys, are you all right?
All good.
Hello.
You all right? Let's start ladies first. How are you? You good? What's been happening?
Really good, actually. Getting into the swing of the new year, finally.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a couple of weeks now, so no excuses.
Was that first interview last year?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, wow.
No.
Gee, because
Was it last year?
No.
Was it last year? Nah. Well, I can't remember. Oh, geez.
Yeah, I think it was just after the new year. I think it was just after the new year.
I think it was, I can't remember. Jeez. How about you, Dale? How you doing, mate?
Yeah, all good. All good. Chipping away. Yeah, all good.
Yeah. So I thought I'd bring this back because it's very unpopular. Last time we done a little chat. So let's start with Clubhouse first and foremost. I mean, how you getting on with it? Any good news? You can bring us anything insightful. You can bring us. How you been getting on with the app? Let's go to Kos.
I've been loving the app, to be honest. I have, as I said to you before, been spending time in rooms that can bring some kind of productivity to my life. So power of social media rooms, strategic branding rooms, rooms about writing books and stuff like that. So I've been really enjoying it. On the other side, I have been in a couple of rooms where, because in my previous life, I was in the entertainment business. So I've been keeping up with the culture and listening to conversations around, the UK music industry, which has just changed a lot. And also more specialized in my area, which is facilitating investment and business in Africa. We had something called the African Continental Free Trade Agreement that has just come about. And so there's been some rooms specifically around that, which have been super, super helpful, and also around investment in Africa, which have been super, super helpful. So all thumbs up from my perspective.
Good. How about you, Dale? Has Clubhouse been treating you?
Yeah, all good. I've just been, to be fair, I've absolutely been hooked on it. I've literally been falling asleep to it, playing in the background. It all depends on, as I said, like I said previously, it all depends on the rooms you follow and your interests. Just in my field, like the creative field, especially photography, videography, I find it very useful. Now none of us are affiliated with Clubhouse. I must clarify that we're not affiliated with them. It's just a platform that's open to us. At this moment in time, I find it very, very useful. However, you have your good and bad in terms of some rooms you go in and you have a lot of people giving wrong advice in terms of people that are not really experienced in the field to be giving certain advice. That's something you need to be careful of. But apart from that, my experience on Clubhouse has been good since the last conversation that we had.
So overall, nothing negative you've heard over. It's been good. It's been good for both of you.
No, I mean, I've heard negative stuff about it, but I wasn't sure if you were going to kick off with a particular story, but I've definitely heard some funny vibes over the past, I'd say 10 days or so. And the first one I came across was when I went in a room which had to do with that guy Shaka Bars. I don't know if you know. I didn't know the backstory, but a lot of people were talking that he was in a room sort of defending himself with Tiffany Haddish and a couple of other celebrities, and a lot of people were talking about I think there'd been a previous room where he was alleged to have kicked somebody out, a doctor out, for saying something opposing to what he said. And then whilst they had this room that was defending all of that, the doctor that he kicked out come back in, and it was a palaver. But I found myself in there for longer than I probably should have been. Listening, like, what's going on? That was one. And then I was also in one that was in a conversation about Stormzy and Chipmunk, which started off really kind of amicable and then just started getting a bit agitated after a little while. I try not to stay too long when it starts getting the conversation starts going a bit left. The energy's not good.
I think you touched on it earlier, Del, but it depends on what room you go into as well. You know, but I think more and more of them, people call it ratchet rooms and things like that, are coming more and more part and parcel. I mean, I was in a room where people were arguing. One guy was in an investment room, and one guy was giving advice about investing, but yet there was a girl on there saying, if you know so much about money, where's the money you owe me?
Absolutely.
So okay, all right. So then, like as you were alluding to as well, then people are talking the talk when they're not necessarily walking the walk. So that was my concern. I mean, I'm more skeptical about Clubhouse now than I was. I'm not spending as much time as I was on it.
Yeah.
Only because you can verify people in terms of going and checking what they're about. But the majority, you really only have to. There'd only be like 1 or 2 rooms I'll go in. Only with people that are proper, you know, I believe what they say and they've got a proven track record. So only them 1 or 2 rooms I'd go in, I'd rather just search up information on YouTube or something like that rather than go into a room and, you know, deal with it that way. You know? But just in terms of that, you know, in terms of the quality of Clubhouse, is it becoming more of a, not like Twitter, and is it becoming more of a status thing? I don't know what you mean by, if you know what I mean by that, in terms of like people in there just to try and be stank, as opposed to come in there and get the knowledge that they want to get to try and empower other people.
Well, I think just from what I've seen and just other stuff, reviews I've seen on YouTube, from my understanding, it's in like a beta stage. So I think that even the people that are running Clubhouse are still not sure in terms of the direction it's going in. And how you feel you know, the rooms, because you have to apply to have an official room, such to speak. But yeah, I think it's like with any platform. If you look at Instagram, Twitter, you've got good and bad on there in terms of the information people are putting out. Some people are putting out a lot of negative energy, and a lot of people putting out positive energy. But one thing I've come to realize is that based on the people that you're following, is based on what kind of rooms they show. So I'm starting to get loads more creative rooms come through. So my feed's going to be completely different to your 2 feeds. So maybe just try and look at that, like the people that you're following.
And I think you're right. And you know, it's not Clubhouse, it's not the rooms, it's people, right? It's a reflection of people. It's the people that are feeding it. And I think like Del said, any platform you're going to get that those sort of elements that are in there. And I think we've all got a bit of it in us, but it's about what are you on there for. And I think, like you were saying earlier, that you feel you're going into rooms, but you're not sure about the credibility of people, which sounds to me like you're in there as very much as a consumer. Whereas, you know, you could quite easily do the podcast on there, right? And change and create your own vibe and create your own corner in there. So if you kind of look at it as to like, how does this, how can this benefit and suit what I'm doing? And that's just the way I think. Some people may just be on there for entertainment value, and that's fine. But you could just look at it from a different perspective, and you may see and find different things. Like Del said, if you change who you're following as well, and you're a bit more mindful about the time you spend in rooms and which rooms you spend that time in, your timeline will change, or your corridor, or whatever they call it, will change. Hallway. So
as we just touched on, it's in the beta stage as well. So just the beginning. Anything that you think that it can improve on, that the app could possibly improve to make it better? Or is it a case of just you know, as Bill said, if you got to choose what room you want to go into, it's up to you. I mean, you've got to navigate it yourself. If there's anything, because I know the app is more of it's supposed to be based on more networking, isn't it? You know, so some professionals, but obviously they want to get as many people as they can in for all different kinds of reasons. So obviously they're gonna get in different people from all different ideas and all different backgrounds and stuff. So is it fair to say that they should change it, or should they just keep it the same and then let people make their own minds up?
Yeah, I just think that at this moment in time, it's just, you know, one thing I would say in regards to the moderators, you may go into some rooms and everybody's mics are on, so everyone's talking over each other. So I think it's down to the moderators to be able to control the room. And, you know, credit to the moderators the rooms I've been into, that they've been able to control the room in terms of, you know, letting people have their say and going through the audience one by one. But I think that they should implement some kind of, you know, some kind of blockage. So once the moderator's speaking, people can't just over talk on the moderator.
Yeah.
But as I said, this is brand new to everybody. So you know, for me to give any advice on how they should do it, I just, you know, I couldn't say.
They, from my understanding, they update the app. I think it's every 2 weeks. There's some kind of update, and I think a lot of the updates are based on feedback from the users. They have something called a town hall meeting on a Sunday. I think it's on Sunday, and then you have some offshoot rooms that then discuss what was discussed at the town hall meeting. So a lot of it is very user generated. A lot of their changes are very user generated. So any suggestions that you have got or people have got, I think are being implemented almost like immediately. Like I notice now when I go in a room or when I've been called onto the stage to talk, that your mic is now muted, like, or sometimes, like sometimes it's muted when before it wasn't muted when you got on the stage. So but that's kind of on and off. And then there was also, I noticed, going backwards, that when you clicked on, you know, when you nominate somebody to come onto the app, your name comes up on their profile. And then I was clicking through to somebody who had been nominated, or who had nominated someone, and I noticed that person they'd started on the app back in June 2020. And there was no nomination for that person. So there must have been a time when your nomination name didn't come up. Do you see what I mean? So I think literally it's
little things that
as you go along. But I mean, in terms of immediate changes, there's nothing that kind of sticks out to me like greatly. Not really. I quite like it as it is, and I quite like seeing it evolve. I like the fact that they give you more invites, because now I've actually got some more invites now, and it feels a little bit more inclusive, except of the fact that you haven't got no Android users on there yet. But I think that would be good. I think to let them open it up to the Android users, because there's some really cool people, especially in Africa, where you've got a lot of Android users who I think would be great on there, that can't be on there yet. Yeah.
So you two do your own thing in terms of your own businesses. So how has it personally benefited your own businesses? How are you, Dels?
I've not seen any benefits in terms of you know, like getting work out of the platform. However, I've benefited from, you know, advice gems, and the same thing with the advice I've given to people. But yeah, as it stands now, it's just literally been based on tips and, you know, people's experience, and it's given me the option to be able to speak to like people that, you know, I've never been able to speak to before. So
yeah, that's super valuable. I've not had no cash in the bank off the back of it. No, my cash flow ain't gone up thanks to Clubhouse. But I can say definitely my knowledge has. My confidence has. You know, in a space like Africa Investment, sometimes you don't get the opportunity to really get into the minds of like private equity investors or venture capitalists. Although they're around me in my network, sometimes you don't get a chance to really. Sometimes it's just social, right? So it's been nice actually seeing some names that I've worked with or that have been on my platforms in the past, and hearing them together, like have conversations about investment in Africa. And you're like, wow, okay, all of the missing bits of the puzzle in my mind are now starting to make sense, because you're getting that exposure to information. So for me, knowledge has definitely been something that's helped me in my business. And on the other hand, I felt I've been able to provide some knowledge or provide some resources to people that are wanting to do business in Africa, or wanting to do business specifically in Ghana, or wanting to understand, you know, what is tech in Ghana, or, you know, how are people using mobile phones, or what is fintech, you know, these kind of things. I can now say, okay, well, here's a resource. If you click on my profile, and I learned that from the Americans, click on my profile, scroll down, go to my Twitter, click through. I have a blog there.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't.
Good at it.
I went in one room, and it was sorry to cut you. I went in one room. It was about your profile. And then they'll go through, if you spoke, they'll go through your profile, tell you to change this, change that, do this, emojis and all that stuff. I've done that on that. My profile, check out my profile. My profile looks decent. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know if it's a British thing. I don't know if it is a British thing, but me and my friend Dion from BuzzFeed, we was talking about this yesterday, and we was talking about the fact that, you know, we're very reserved in the way that we operate, right? 100%. So even if, you know, you've got all the accolades or you've got all the experience, we don't talk in that way. And if, you know, compare that to an American, you can have a whole panel full of Americans all probably doing similar stuff. Some are great, but some are probably mediocre. Some maybe even beginners, but you won't really even know the difference, right? Because the way they talk with confidence, it's like, what? It made you realize that, we're not that great.
Undersell ourselves. We undersell ourselves, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, which
really interesting.
Yeah. But I think
sorry, Dale, go on.
No, go on.
Go on.
Yeah, and I just think going forward, I think that this can be definitely a great platform, because, you know, you might DM someone on Instagram, if you're not verified, you're unable to get an instant reply, where, you know, you're able to literally, as long as you're invited on the stage, you're able to have a conversation. And, you know, it's just like there was a YouTuber, and he does like a lot of reviews, tech reviews, and I sort of like watch all of these videos sort of like religiously. And he was in the room, we were just talking, and he was just giving advice on like how to start a YouTube channel, how to be confident in terms of speaking on camera. And it was just some really, really good advice, and it was really motivating as well. So credit to them people that are taking time out to actually come into Clubhouse to share their experiences. And then
but you don't just listen, Dale, you have to take action.
Absolutely. And even you know, it's crazy, because even something like this is, you know, I'm not someone to speak on platforms. I just literally let my work do the talking. So for me to do this is like a big thing for me.
That's what we were talking about, though, being too humble, isn't it? Not putting ourselves out there.
It's true. But do you think that is a British thing, or do you think that's just personal to you?
I think do you know what it is? I think that more people. This is an hard one, because I feel that more people want to hear your journey in terms of, for me personally, how I've started and how I've got to work with the people that I'm able to work with. You know, I'm fortunate to work with, and, you know, people are really, really interested. Hence the reason why I'm starting to go on more platforms and share. And, you know, if I can help people, then so be it.
I'd love to hear that story, Dale.
Sorry?
I know you, and I still don't know that story, mate.
You don't know that story, yeah.
I know we've done this as a threesome, but I do want to do a separate one where we talk about your individual businesses in more detail, basically. Do you know what I mean? To get to the, I know we touched on Dale with you with the first one. We touched on it a bit. Because we haven't touched on with you with what you do at all, really. You know, I think that's what I want to do within the next couple of weeks or so, especially during this lockdown that we're all in, and, you know, talking about.
Now's the time to catch the content.
That's the thing.
Even in the comments below, like, let people put in the comments what they want to hear, what they want to know, and, you know, based on that we can, you know, talk about it next episode.
Which would be good. Yeah. But just touching on lockdown, I know Boris is talking right now. I don't know what the new restrictions might be. How you've been staying motivated, how you've been staying, keeping it pushing, what difficulties or whatever have you found, and how have you managed to push through? Or have you managed to push through? Let's go with you, Josh.
Me. I made when I saw that the second lockdown was coming, because I had just for context for anyone watching, so I had a baby last April. So the first lockdown for me, whether or not there was COVID, was going to be a lockdown anyway, right? So that was, for me, I was just all about head down and looking after the baby. And now she's about to hit 9 months. So, you know, I've got a little bit of like, oh, what's my name again? I'm back like out there. And when I heard there was a second lockdown coming, I was like, no. So what I've got to do is be conscious in the way that I deal with this, because being at home, and as much as you've got your family around, or you can speak to your friends on the phone, like it's quite it's almost like Groundhog Day, isn't it? Like every day. Is it Groundhog Day? Where every day seems the same, especially with a baby and being a new mum, it can feel even more like that. So I just started implementing little things like Mondays. I got back on personal training because there's a personal trainer in my lens who I used to do some stuff with before, and he's still doing some outdoor one-on-one stuff. So I was like, shout out to Chris, Marlin Camp. So one-on-one, he's a good one actually for you to interview. Really good stories to tell. So that was like, Mondays we're going to do that. My cousin, we decided we're going to do walks more. I reached out to a couple of really close friends of mine and said, listen, I know we do this kind of speeches soon and we have a call every 2 weeks, but we're actually consciously making sure that we speak to each other on a much more regular basis, all of us. So just being a bit more mindful of my body, my vibes and energy and spirit, and also with the work side of things, I've made sure that every day I do something that moves my work gauge a little bit more forward, right? Whatever that is, I have to do something. So they're the little things that I'm doing, and the days are going by pretty quick.
Nice. Del?
Yeah, pretty much. I've just been getting organised and just, all the stuff that I said to myself that I would do, whether it's, read that book or whatever it may be, I've just been following up. And I've also been using a website called Udemy, and what was the other one? Not Skillshare, but Udemy. And it's like loads of courses there. And I sort of like wait for them to go down to like 75% before I actually get the courses. But yeah, just little things like that. And it's just been, I've been, able to kill a lot of time and also educate myself at the same time. So but just literally, we're all in the same position. We've all just got to, stay motivated and
definitely. That's the same.
Listening to Clubhouse as well, to be honest. That's probably why it's accelerated. Someone did say, I wonder how many people will still be on Clubhouse once the lockdown finishes.
I know, but I don't know. Well, even when the lockdown does finish, I don't think things are going to go back to normal anyway. I think it's going to be. I think that's what I'm thinking about now. I'm thinking about in terms of my business. I have to come up with a new model. I'm thinking about new models, new ways to try to deal with the situation that's going on now. Because or for a long time at least, I don't see things getting back to normal. Because even when people are allowed out, there's still going to be that section that are still going to be cautious, that are still going to be now willing to do that. So a lot of stuff done online. I've been spending my time on YouTube, a lot of time on YouTube. Not as much on Clubhouse. I will get back on it. Because I've got a good profile. So I've got to make sure people see it. So I will be back on it with no doubt at all.
What are you looking at on YouTube? What are you watching?
At the moment, I'm watching everything on the stock market at the moment. So I've been very, very busy. I've been joining new groups. I've joined this thing it's called Discord, where a lot of people that have been watching YouTube, they have a Discord, and you can join it. And that's like a WhatsApp group where people just talk about stocks and shares and latest stocks, and from penny stocks to the big stocks. And I've been looking at the history of the stock market and all things like that, and just been getting deeper and deeper into that, which has been good, as well as business and listening to people like the normal Tony Robbins and things like that, just to try and stay motivated and to try and keep fresh, and obviously exercising and staying as active as possible as well. So a nice little mixture of everything really to try and keep the lockdown at bay. So that's been good, man. That's been good. But if there's any more else you want, anything else you'd like to add? Now say that as a no. Go on, Del.
In regards to Clubhouse, in
anything, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to get you both on your own anyway to talk about your individual businesses. But in regards to what we've just speaking, whether it's Clubhouse, whether it's motivating yourself during the lockdown, anything you want to add before we say good night?
Yeah,
profile's looking good, Dave. Profile's looking good.
Well, isn't it?
Well impressed. I've got to update mine again.
Yeah.
See it? Yeah, decent, isn't it?
Good.
Get close to the screen. Let me see.
He's really gone in, mate. He's really, really gone in.
What is your Clubhouse? What's that?
What did you say?
Yeah, what is your Clubhouse links? I don't think we mentioned that before. What's your Clubhouse link, Josh?
Oh, mine's just Akosua Annabelle. So first name Akosua, surname same as David's.
Cool. What's your Del?
I think it's the same as my username. Same as like yeah.
We'll get it all in the links anyway, in the description. But yeah, man.
Going forward, you know what? Maybe we should set up our own room as well. You know, and just have these sort of conversations. You know, like bring your podcast onto the platform and just see how it goes.
I really think so. I really think it's a good idea, D. And I think I really.
Can we do the next one? Should we do the next one on Clubhouse itself? I don't know how we're going to record it, but we should do the next one.
You don't necessarily have your podcast itself on there, but the kind of topics that you discuss or the kind of guests that you would have, you'd bring them on there and start a conversation like this. And perhaps like at this point is the point where maybe people from the audience might come up and start having getting involved in the conversation or commenting on some of the things that we've said, whether it's Clubhouse, whether it's motivation, whether it's crypto. It could have been anything that sparked someone's conversation. So it could be all about conversation, and then you can say, look, if you like this type of thing, if you want to get involved or you want to hear more, then you can log onto my club onto my podcast, right? Or follow me.
We'll do it.
And just one thing I like to add quickly, because even down to the people that watch this podcast, is like the last one, it was like 3,000 people that watched it, and it was like for me, it was mind blowing that people was interested in what we were talking about. So so to be able to do one maybe in Clubhouse where people can, you know, interact and ask questions, I think that'd be great for your platform. And I think that would definitely be a good thing going forward. And don't forget, don't forget, you can put it in the calendar as well. So you can add it to the calendar, so you can do it for maybe next week, and people will be aware and they can follow it, and they'll get a notification as and when it.
Maybe
we'll do it.
Working class, from working class to working class.
And try and apply for a room. So you get so you can get your own room, so it's your room at this early stage. So
So can't you still do your own room now?
Yeah, you can do your own room, but I think that there's a green box or a green house that sort of like means that your room's verified.
Oh, you got a club. No, that means you got a club. So you need to do 3 rooms and then apply. You can apply for a club, but when you go to apply for the club, they'll say we prioritize people who have had at least 3 rooms discussing the topics that you want your club to be about.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then, so when you go to your application, if they know through the algorithm, I don't know, whether or not your profile has been connected to hosting rooms. And maybe it tells them, okay, David hosted a room on Wednesday and X amount of people were in that room, or this was the topic that he discussed. Maybe they just go to verify that you're going to talk about what you say you're going to talk about. And then what they do is give you the club on top of that. But now's the time to do it. Everybody keeps saying, you're going to do a club, do it now. You're going to do a club, do it now. But yeah, I mean, I've only hosted one myself, so
how'd it go?
Get on with it personally. It was all right. It was like, it starts off with just you and a couple, like 2 people or whatever, 3 people, and then the next minute, you you forget that X is following you or Y is following you, or other people have their own followings, and you got a nice bunch of 30 people, whatever, in a room. And consistency is key, because with that Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, there's a young boy that started that 3 weeks ago, and he does it every week. And the first one was there was 5 of us. Yesterday there was 35 of us.
Yeah, of course.
Right, and some people from who actually were part of the team from the agreement. So it escalates really quickly if you're consistent.
And when are they looking to open it up to the public? Because that's going to be a massive thing as well, because there'll be a massive influx of people joining and all that type of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the last I heard, the talk was around April, but I haven't been to a town. I might try and go to the town hall meeting. If you can, try and go to the town hall meeting, because that's the actual people behind Clubhouse talking about what they're going to do in Clubhouse. So it's worth, just if you want to keep up in terms of what the app's doing, it's worth going to. Or just follow Abraxas, he knows everything.
Abraxas, yeah. My name in London thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I didn't even mention my name in London. Have you been on it yet?
I've been on it when I used to go on it. I haven't been on Clubhouse for about 2-3 weeks. But every time I was going on it, it was on there. And I'll check it out and go on there.
Yeah,
Might do a little
I mean, it's 9 o'clock every morning. You know, just it reminds me of listening to LBC or whatever. It's like multicultural London, just all in one place, and everybody talking very generically. I mean, it's 3 things they do. One, you come up there with the people that come on the stage, you just introduce yourself, what you're doing today. The second thing is a really like trivial question, like waffles or pancakes, which do you prefer? You know, Prince or Michael Jackson, which do you prefer? And really funny conversations come out of that. But then the last question is always a little bit more deep, like when was the last time you cried, or you know, when was the last time you said sorry to somebody or something like that. And then what I noticed with that is that people will say, oh, the last time I said sorry was to my brother, and you know, I really needed to say that sorry because I don't know, he told me not to go to my friend's house, and I did, and I caught COVID, so I said sorry for not listening to you. But then he never says sorry to me, and he's never apologized to me since I was a child. And then they start opening up their trauma, right? On this platform. It's really deep, you know, and then you're just suddenly like, whoa. And I think everybody, you know, is in that time, I think, of reflecting, and then they're using Clubhouse as a platform to actually expose some of the inner, deeper thoughts and feelings, right? But that's what I find 9 a.m. in London does. It's a bit heavy sometimes.
No, it's good though. That's good. I'm on it. You guys have reignited my Clubhouse fire. So yes, I was losing
sleep.
I was losing faith in it, but you know, I was just like more like, because I was doing what they was doing, falling asleep to it before, you know, like listening to it, you know. So yes, I'll get.
You know what? To be fair, some of the conversations in terms of, definitely in my field, it's definitely interesting, and you know, even I've had people discussing about festivals and getting back to working in festivals. It's just like some people are giving out the information. It's like, festivals ain't happening this year. Like people like Glastonbury cancelling, you know, like all of these festivals. That festivals are not happening, and people fail to understand the preparation that goes into a festival. They literally, when the festival ends, literally they give it like a couple of months. They're literally preparing for the next year.
One. Exactly.
Contracts need to be in place with artists, people that are working in a procedure. And it's a procedure that's a lot longer than 3 months. So
exactly.
Just things like that. I found that the information that people was giving, like, we'll be back to normal, we'll be performing, and we'll be, for example, taking pictures or whatever it may be. And it's just like, you know, it's unprecedented time. So nobody knows what the future holds. We could be in this for the next 2 years for all we know. Like nobody knows. The advice to people that are doing it, I just think they shouldn't really be doing that, but that's just my opinion.
You're right, Dale. I mean, in my conference it takes place in June. There's only like 100 people in that, 150 to 200 max people, when we're at total capacity, and that's June. I've cancelled that little conference. I've cancelled that. I mean, not only that, but there's the PR around it as well, isn't it? You need to start getting in touch with people now. Who's going to be responding positively?
Exactly. No one knows. Yeah, no one knows what's going on. Even we're supposed to go do a football tournament in Germany, but we can't do it. Germany, in Spain, got offered to. No one knows what's going on. We don't know what's.
Yeah, and even running a business and stuff like that. So they have to protect. If you know, if someone needs to cancel, you know, that means that people need to be refunded their money. How does that work with insurance policies? So this is, as I said, all new stuff will have to be implemented in order to cover everything, because they're businesses at the end of the day. People are making a living, and you know, if people can't afford to live, the insurance companies or whoever it may be will need to compensate. So literally, things will just have to be rewritten.
And talking about business as well. I know Del, you've with the work that you do a lot of licensing. You know, I wanted to just talk about that, because I know you just signed a big deal with a company. I won't mention the name, but I know you licensed some stuff out. I mean, do you want to mention a bit about licensing and what that is, and you know, or do you want to save that for your own podcast? What do you reckon?
Yeah, no, that's something I can touch on stuff like that for a little while. But yeah, just, you know, some of the visuals, like photos, whether they, you know, you license it for a period of time. So it could be for a campaign, it could be for a billboard, it could be for many of things. You're just literally licensing it for a period of time, really.
What is licensing for those people that don't even know what a licensing is?
So you're just so for example, you've got your logo here. Like the podcast in the corner, and I wanted, for example, I wanted that, and I wanted it for a project. It could be I want to reference that on I don't know, whatever it may be, a platform.
Yeah.
I have to come to you and get permission. You may potentially charge a fee, or you might just, credit me, whatever it may be. Yeah,
credit means you say my name. David gave you the
yeah, absolutely. So you just license it for a period of time. So whether it's a campaign with Nike and they really like a picture, they want you to do something else. It all depends on what kind of deal you've got and what kind of arrangement you have. But yeah, content is a really big thing going forward. So I think that people should take content more seriously in terms of what they're producing, and what they own. This stuff is it's you never know. One day it could become a commodity.
Really interesting conversation. I'd love to hear an expansion on that, because especially in a time where when you're retweeting stuff, or someone like myself who has a content platform that promotes other people's stories, some people provides pictures with stories that they release, but then sometimes you take pictures from elsewhere, but ultimately you're promoting the business or a positive news story around that particular person. But when it comes to online, because familiar when we used to work in the newspapers, I'm familiar with that, working with Getty and people like that. But when we got online, when you go online, the lines become a bit skewed, right? But I think it's getting a bit tighter now. But it's a really interesting conversation that is about licensing, but in the digital world.
And you can even see it with just pictures in general. People that take pictures of people, they always want to be credited. So you go on Instagram, you'd always see that photo icon and who took the photo, because that's all that stuff is really, really important for people getting credited for their work.
And it's not me in the picture; it's the person who took the picture of me.
Absolutely.
We'll definitely touch on that when we have our own private little conversation about it. So I definitely want to get into that. It's very, very interesting. And the same with you, Josh, as well. I've called her Josh. It's been my name for years. But we'll touch on that when we have our own private conversations. We'll get into a bit more deeper about what you actually do, because it's very, very interesting. But guys, listen, thank you very much. As I say, you've inspired me for Clubhouse. We're going to have a conversation on Clubhouse as well. We're going to start seeing on there much more often.
No ratchet. Let me catch you on a stage.
Me? No way. Who, me? No way.
I saw our nephew Dale in a room. I said to him earlier, I saw my nephew in a room, and I saw the title of the room, and I was like,
wow.
Is that going on? Yeah.
I didn't go in there. I didn't go in there. I
didn't know he was on there. All right. So all right.
Oh, he's on there. He's
all
on
right.
there.
Cool. But cool. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining me on this.
For having us.
On this day, and I'll speak to you all soon. Yeah. Nice one.
Right.
In a bit.
Good night, guys. Speak
soon.
Bye.